So match number 6, our main event of the evening, would see the Bring Me Pro Wrestling title put on the line as Jack Toreno, who was all over me. I love me a girthy Rhino, and he would be challenging the champion Ryan Curran, who come out with his tag team partner Harry McDonald in his corner. It was an even start to this one before Curran started laying off the chops, and we'd have a chop off. Toreno would land some vile chops of his own. He'd pick up the pace and hit a huge slam, which would see Curran roll to the outside. Toreno would pretend to fly at this point and then head to the outside. Some more chops. But Curran would use the apron and the ring post to his advantage before Toreno would fly like a rhino off of the ring steps. And then hit a rolling senton off of the apron, and then a big elbow drop for the 2 count early on. He hit a drop kick, a huge drop kick in the corner. At this point, Curran would resort to the dirty tactics with an eye poke and a missile drop kick from the top rope. He then hit a face plant for a 2 count and a European uppercut, and these two were absolutely at it. Curran would start to trash talk Toreno at this point, and this would make Toreno absolutely explode, hitting 3 German suplexes. And Curran would have to roll to the outside. Toreno would hit a second rope moonsault for a 2 count. And some more chops. Oh, I love his chops. Yeah, these ones, you'd see Curran would hit a spine buster followed by a shining wizard, but Toreno was not done, and he'd hit a brain buster for a 2 count, and both men would be down. At this point, Harry McDonald would get involved, slide in the belt into the ring and distract the referee, who would remove the belt, and a second belt would be chucked in. Toreno would spear the referee, Chris Kronos, by accident, and then hit a double stomp to Curran's face. But Harry McDonald would make the save, and then Curran would hit the code breaker, and you think it was over at this point. But Toreno would hit a Spanish fly, then a 450, but with Kronos still out of it, Harry McDonald would hit the belt shot, and Curran would be able to retain his title. It all broke down afterwards with finally Taylor James would get involved and be like, look, I stayed out of this one. Why couldn't you have done the same to Harry McDonald? And yeah, I think this is leading up to something. Anyway, Toreno, explosive as always, you know, got screwed over, but definitely great to see in action. Love seeing this guy in action. So yeah, Curran, I suppose he did what he had to do, you know, bend the rules, but whatever you got to do when you're the champion, and especially when you have the heel in the match, and he did exactly that. He looked fantastic otherwise. If you ever get a chance to see either of these two guys in action, check them out live for yourselves.